So, last time we talked about individual endurance, about what it takes for you to stand firm under pressure. But what happens when it's not just about you anymore? What happens when the pressure is on everyone? Well, Juz಼ 4 throws us right into that exact scenario. It's like a crucible, a real test of a community's ability to stick together. As we journey through the Quran this Ramadan, I want to mention that this explainer is a special effort, inspired by the incredible work of the Living the Wisdom of the Quran podcast by Mir Ali Shah.
And that really sets up the core question for this entire part of the Quran. See, the focus zooms out. It shifts from me to we. It's no longer just about, can I endure? The question gets so much harder. Can we endure? Can we actually stay united when everything feels like it's falling apart?
Now, to answer that, the Quran doesn't give us some abstract philosophical lecture. Nope, it does something much more powerful. It drops us right into the thick of it, into a moment of raw, intense pressure. We're talking about the direct aftermath of the Battle of Uhud, a really tough and pivotal moment for the early Muslims. And here's what's so amazing. You might think the community would want to just, sweep this defeat under the rug. But the Quran does the exact opposite. It puts this painful memory right in the spotlight, not to shame anyone, but to use it as this incredible case study, to show us exactly what happens when a community's unity starts to fracture. Okay, so let's get into the diagnosis, right? The Quran isn't just going to say, okay, they were defeated. It goes so much deeper. It performs this unflinching spiritual autopsy, really. It looks past the swords and shields and straight into the hearts to figure out the why. And the diagnosis? It's laser-focused. It points to three key things. First, a bit of overconfidence creeping in. Second, some internal disagreements, a breakdown in unity. And third, a fatal split-second distraction, the pull of worldly gain. And what's so important to get here is that this wasn't about a loss of faith. Not at all. It was a breakdown in discipline. And the way the Quran talks about this is just wow. It doesn't point fingers at anyone else. The blame isn't external. It's all internal. It says, until you lost courage, you disputed the command, you disobeyed. It's like it's holding up a giant mirror to the community and, by extension, to us. But here's the thing about the Quran. It never just gives you a diagnosis and leaves you there. It always provides the prescription. So right after showing where the cracks are, it gives us the blueprint for repair, the divine way to stitch everything back together. And this is the core instruction right here. Hold firmly to the rope of Allah. What is that rope? It's revelation. It's that divine principle that's bigger than any one of our egos, bigger than our petty disagreements. The message couldn't be clearer. Grab on to this truth, and whatever you do, hold on. Together. It's really important we understand what unity means here. This isn't about everyone thinking the exact same way or just, having this mushy, sentimental feeling. Not at all. It's an active, disciplined choice to surrender to something higher than ourselves. And the moment our ego whispers, hey, I know better, that's the exact moment division starts. Okay, so this idea of unity tied to a divine rope is great, but it can't just be up in the clouds, right? It needs a foundation. It has to work in the real world. And that's exactly where the Juz಼ takes us next, into a brand new chapter, the incredibly important Surat An-Nisa. And check this out. Before Surat An-Nisa gets into any of the details, laws about family, inheritance, orphans, it starts with this massive foundational reminder. We all come from one soul. That's the starting point for everything. It's telling us that justice, this recognition of our shared humanity, is the literal backbone of the community. You take that away, and unity is just a fantasy. So, we've gone from a historical battlefield to the laws of a community. Now let's zoom in even further. Let's bring all of this right down to the battlefield that rages inside every single one of us. Because let's be real, a huge public falling out, it doesn't just happen. It doesn't start with the shouting matches. The seeds of that disunity are planted way earlier, in the quietest parts of our own hearts. It starts with that little flicker of envy, that grievance we refuse to let go of, that tiny bit of arrogance that says, I don't need to listen to them. So if you take a step back and look at the whole picture, you see this incredible journey the Juz಼ takes us on. It starts with a defeat, then commands unity, then exposes the hypocrisy that rots unity from the inside out, and then it lays down the laws of justice that actually hold it all together. It's a masterclass in showing us that real strength, communal strength, is built from the inside out. It's all about integrity.
All right, so this is all great, but how do we make it real? How do we take these huge lessons and bring them into our lives, especially now during Ramadan? Let's get really practical. First, we've got to look in the mirror, ask yourself, and be brutally honest. Where in my life, in my words, even in my thoughts, am I contributing to the problem? Am I the one causing division when I could be healing?
Here's the second one, and this is a biggie for all of us. In a disagreement, what's my main goal? Is it to be right, to win, or is it to be just, to be compassionate? That question really cuts to the heart of the battle between our ego and our soul. And the last one, this might be the hardest one. Ask yourself, where is my ego stopping me from doing the right thing? Is there someone I need to apologize to right now, but my pride is just getting in the way? We all know that feeling. Okay, so from thinking to doing, here's a simple checklist for today. First, reach out and try to fix one relationship that's a bit strained. Second, make a point to say something good about someone who isn't there. Third, just think about one time you might have been unfair and own it. And fourth, make a real, heartfelt prayer for unity in your community. And so, at the end of the day, Juzʼ 4 leaves us with this one final challenging thought. The question isn't, are we strong or are we powerful? The real question is much more personal. It's, are we sincere enough to stay together? So we ask Allah to please purify our hearts, to help us mend our relationships, and to unite us on what's true and right. We also ask for His forgiveness for any errors or maybe even AI-related mispronunciations in this explainer. Thank you so much for joining us.